it's Sylvia here from Stouffville, Ontario, and I'm going to share my favorite freezer jam recipe with you today. As you can see, we have lots of berries here. We just fresh picked those this morning, and hopefully by the end of today, we'll have maybe 100, 150 jars of strawberry freezer jam, and that should last us about a year with some left over to give away as gifts and to share with friends and family. So stay tuned. Hi, I just thought I'd share with you a quick and easy way to hull strawberries, especially when you have as many as we have here. You just take a straw, and I have a stainless steel reusable straw, but you can use any kind of plastic straw. Insert it into the tip of the strawberry, and the hull should pop right off the other end. And then it just leaves a little hole, but your berries don't get mushy and they all stay intact, so try that if you have a straw. Okay, the berries are all hulled now, and as you can see, we have quite a few. Now we could just mash them with an ordinary potato masher, and that works fine if you're doing a small batch, but since we have so many, I'm going to whir them in the food processor and we'll get that done a lot quicker. Okay, I'm adding a little bit more than 2 cups because it's going to take me forever if I don't, and the machine seems to be able to do that just fine. So I'm going to show you how I do that and what that looks like. And I just take my bowl, dump in the amount that I need, and it's about maybe a little bit more than half full. Like about like that. And my pulse button is broken on my machine, so I'm just going to turn it off and on a few times until most of the pieces are in little tiny pieces. And if you turn it on and leave it on, it'll get really liquidy at the bottom and you'll still have big chunks at the top. So that's why you either need to pulse it or turn it off and on. And I'll show you what I mean. Stuck on the side. If you get any big pieces stuck on the side, just open it and scrape them down. And that looks great. And I just dump that in my container. So you don't want it pureed, you don't want it liquid, but you don't want really big chunks in it either. So keep doing that. Okay, we finished all the processing, and we started with 15 containers of berries, and we've got that down to 9. I have 10 here, but 2 of them are half full. So about 9 containers of berry mash, and I have 1 container left over for the family that I didn't mash up. So obviously, if you're going to make 1 batch of berries, it's going to take you a lot less time. And the recipe calls for, I think, 6 cups of berries, and that will give you about 6 jars of jam. So I'm going to set everything up now to make the jam. I've already made 2 batches of strawberry freezer jam, so I'm going to make a 3rd batch now, and I'll explain to you as I go exactly what I did and what the recipe is. So this recipe calls for 6 cups of crushed strawberries, which I have already here, 4 cups of sugar, which is right here, and this recipe is special because it does not contain any Certo, so I don't have to worry about running out of Certo. The pectin comes from Granny Smith apples, and this recipe calls for 4 Granny Smith apples. So I've already cut up 3. I'm going to cut up this one, and then I'm going to show you how I grate it up in my food processor, which is all clean and ready to go. So cut these up, and then I just cut out the core. So these apples are going to go in the food processor in quarters. And 2 apples at a time. So the first 2 go in. And I'm just going to grate them up much like I did the strawberries. So here we go. I stop it to let the big chunks fall down next to the blade. That way it gets the uniform size. That looks pretty good. Make sure there's no big chunks in there. And I'm going to put this right in my pot on the stove. Oh, and yes, you don't peel it because the pectin's in the peel. So the peel gets grated up along with the apple. Last ingredient, lemon juice. So we're going to cut this lemon in half and juice it. And it's a 1/4 cup of lemon juice for this recipe. but 1 whole lemon makes just about a 1/4 cup, so I'm not even going to measure. So I'm going to let that drip for a minute, and I'm going to turn the heat on the stove, and then I'm going to start adding the sugar. So here's my 4 grated apples. Want to get a look at that? They're all grated up nicely. And believe it or not, it's going to turn to a liquid when I add the sugar and turn the heat on. So remind me to put the lemon juice in. Okay, 1 cup of sugar. Okay, that's looking really nice. My whole kitchen smells like cooking apples and strawberries. Okay, we'll dump the last bit of sugar in. And I see 1 big chunk of apple in there that I'm going to fish out. It does cook down, so if you get bigger chunks in it, it's okay, but that one's quite big, so if I can find it again, I'm going to scoop it out. Okay, so now we're going to bring this to a boil. Okay, come have a look in the pot here. This is nice and bubbly. It's been bubbling away for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm ready to turn it off now. And you can see it's nice and liquidy now. And we're going to add that to our 6 cups of crushed berries. But I want to let it cool for a bit first. Actually, while that's cooling, I'm going to take my jars out. These jars are clean, but they're not sterile. This is freezer jam, so it would be like putting leftovers in the freezer. Your container should be clean, but it doesn't have to be sterile. So actually, I should tell you that this exact recipe you can use to make cooked jam. The only difference is you would put all your ingredients in 1 bigger pot, that your 6 cups of crushed berries, your 4 grated Granny Smith apples, the juice from 1 lemon, and 4 cups of sugar. Put it all in 1 big pot, bring it up to a boil, and stir it while it bubbles away for about 35 minutes or until it reaches about 200 on a candy thermometer. And then pour that into sterilized jars, and then they should self-seal, and your cooked jam is ready for your shelf, and it'll be good in your pantry for about a year. It's a freezer jam. I initially said 6, but that was for the cooked jam. Cooked jam cooks down a lot more and has a lot less volume. So this makes 12 jars. So I've already got 24 in the freezer, and this will make another 12. So we'll have 36 jars of freezer jam with no Certo. Okay, that's cooled off nicely. It's not bubbling anymore. We're going to add that to our 6 cups of crushed berries. And I'm going to stir that in nicely so it's all mixed together. And we'll ladle it into our jars. Our jam is ready. We just need our ladle. And our funnel to keep our jam jars, lids or rims clean. And you want to make sure you leave enough headspace so when it freezes, it doesn't burst your jar. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill these up to about 1/2 inch from the top. Perfect. 12 perfect jars. All right. Now we'll just pop our lids on. And these again are clean, not sterile. I'm reusing these from other things, so they've already got stickers and dates on them, but it doesn't matter. It's going to go in the freezer on my jam shelf, so I'll know exactly what it is. So there you have Certo-free, fresh, homemade strawberry freezer jam. So let's go out now and feed the strawberry hulls to the chickens and see what they think.
Hi, Woody Woody.
Does life get any better than this?